What's happening, everyone? It is so great to see you, and welcome to another enthusiastic four-wheel drive talk episode. And it's gonna be a lot of fun here today. It's Saturday. Look at it, it's gorgeous out here. I just picked up the trailer loaded full. Actually, the goal here today, I have a few videos here that I'm going to attempt to shoot here. Now, the first one we're going to be doing, well, you know, actually, before I get into the first video that I'm going to shoot, I have to share with you, it's been a week since I've been to the gas pump. Now, you know exactly where I'm leading with this here. If you're in California, you know exactly where I'm leading with this here. I roll up in there because I have less than 30 miles before I run out on this thing here. And this thing right here, you know, this is no Prius. This thing is nowhere near, you know, decent fuel economy. But you don't buy a Jeep because it's good on gas. And especially when you add all this weight and stick big tires on it, it certainly does nothing good for the miles per gallon. But I'm floating right around 8 or 10, depending upon the mood of the truck. Or I could say the mood of my foot. But anyway, holy smokes, over $6 even for the cheap crap at the pump there. Absolutely. But hey, actually, on a positive note, I have a tip here to share with you. And a lot of you may know this already, but I'm a late bloomer to what I'm going to share with you. And before I go saying the name of this place that I went to yesterday, a buddy of mine, for the last 6 months, when he found out that I've never been to Harbor Freight, he was telling me this is a store that is full of stuff. And I just realized I was trying to make an air quote and I didn't do it right. But anyways, he kept saying it was full of stuff. You know, just random stuff in there that would make great for overland rigs or your camping kits or this or that. So finally yesterday, played hooky for about an hour and a half out of my studio, met him down at a Harbor Freight store, and sure enough, there was stuff in there. And if I didn't say it, this video is not sponsored by Harbor Freight. They're not endorsed, or we have no affiliation with them, but I was pretty amazed. The stuff in there, you know, he always coined it as being inexpensive, which usually I don't run for stuff that's inexpensive, because half the time, most of the time, anything that's inexpensive, you get what you pay for. But inside the store, they had some cool stuff like some bins, bungee cords, and stuff like that. So I picked up some stuff like that. The bins are going to be for organization and the side of my turtleback, which I'll probably tool around with that in a bit, because some of the boxes on the side are a bit of a mess. But okay, let's shift gears and talk about what we're going to be doing here today. Right behind me, of course, is my turtleback trailer with the smart tent on top of it. Now, what we're going to be installing is a 180 watt XPLOR solar panel on the top of there. Now, if you aren't familiar with XPLOR, it's a company, or it's a subsidiary of Sunflare. Sunflare's been making quality or super high quality solar panels for like a zillion years. And so anyways, they developed a line that's specific towards the overland community. That's called XPLOR. So we're going to be mounting a 180 on top of the smart tent there. So this is going to be kind of an install video, and then probably what we're going to do, because I was actually waiting. Oh, here comes that awesome wind that butchered my audio last time. And you guys, I realized what it was on, what video was that? Actually, I think it was my other company. My dead cat on my mic on my R5 has a little gap in it, and the wind was getting in there. So if I do use that camera here today, which I think I might, I'm gonna have to put some gaffer's tape around there to block the wind from getting down there. So hopefully the wind doesn't butcher up this audio. And if it does, I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. But anyways, back towards this. I was waiting for a adapter so we can plug it into my Blackfire solar panel, or my battery box. Anyway, we're going to do the install here. I have everything loaded up in the back of the truck, so I'm going to turn off this camera, or put this camera down, and we're going to start pulling things out. First is first, we're going to clean the top of the tent really good. It is okay. As you can see here, we have some remnants of Big Bear still stuck to the top of this thing. So first is first, we're going to clean this really good. I brought some spray cleaner, and I also brought some alcohol. So we'll clean it first with the spray cleaner. And then I'm going to come through with the Windex, and I'm going to do, not the Windex, but the alcohol. And then we're going to do the same for the back of the solar panel. And I think, well, once we get it positioned here, because we're going to have a couple strips of the 3M, it's this 3M VHS double-sided tape. Stick that panel down on here. We'll probably do the center first, and then we'll do each side. So this is going to be a relatively easy install.
As I'm editing this video, it just dawned on me, what you're watching me do here is something that 3 months ago I would not have been able to do. And what I'm referring to is I'm actually on top of my hard shell tent. The tent I had before, while it was coined as a hard shell tent, folks, it was not. It was kind of like a soft plastic. With this one, now the Smart Tent, this thing is actually rated at 175 pounds, and I'm sure I know what you're saying. Alex, well, you look a little heavier than that, and well, I am. On a good day, I'm 226 pounds, so I'm 50 pounds over what this thing is rated for, and this thing wasn't even flexing when I was on top of it. But I share this with you because it's testament to how well these Smart Tents are really put together. It's built really solid.
All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the dimensions of the solar panel, get the rough dimensions of the center of the tent. I'm going to get this thing centered and mark it off with some tape so it makes it easy for me to center this thing. The tent opens up this way, so I'm going to have the connectors down here. That means a shorter run and wires not hanging up high in the air when this thing's deployed. And that is it. So I think what we're going to do is, there's probably a dozen different ways that you can mount this. I'm going to run a couple strips through the center. I'm going to put the tape going around the perimeter of this. I'm going to peel the center off the backside of the tape off the center. Have the side anchored down with tape, so therefore I can just kind of plop this down and it's going to go down where I need to. And then I'll remove the tape on the side, and then I will peel up the edges along the outskirts of this. And then also, now that I'm thinking about it, I'll probably have a run going on the front of this as well to prevent any air from getting underneath this when I'm driving down the road, which of course, I don't need a kite. I don't need the solar panel flying off this thing. So we definitely got to put a line up at the front, and we should be rocking and rolling. So let's get on with it. Okay, we've gotten this all kind of squared off here. Now I'm going to flip this thing over. We're going to prep both the top of the tent with the alcohol and the backside of the solar panel with alcohol. Actually, what we'll do is we'll prep the back of the solar panel first, get the tape on there, and we're going to be rocking and rolling. And I'm actually just hoping that, I just realized I don't have a soft surface. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the plastic that this thing was wrapped in underneath this, because I don't have a large towel or something. So when I flip this over, while these things are extremely durable, and I heard people just walking on these with no problem and not creating any damage, I don't want to risk it. So I'm going to put the plastic that came out of this underneath this while we're kind of prepping this panel here. there's that. It is absolutely, man, the weather's so nice. Okay. Now, I'm just going to, I know where I'm going to be running the tape. I'm going to put my first run going around the center of this. So you want to use alcohol because alcohol is just going to, it's going to remove just about anything you need to be pulled up. All right. Now, as I mentioned, we're also going to run a strip down through the center of this, and that'll keep that fastened down where we want it. We are looking pretty good here. Okay. You know, it's funny, this is supposed to be 1.5 inches, but this does not look like 1.5 inches. This looks more like 2 inches. Boom! One down, or one side down. Now let's jump on that side. Hey, it's gonna work out good. I got 2 rolls of this. But I have other panels that I'm going to be installing. We have a 120 that's going to be going on the back of the truck where the tripod is sitting. I'll probably do that next week. I don't know, we'll see. So it's good that I have extra of this tape because I will certainly need it there. You know, it's funny, I just realized I've been calling this tape VHS. Go figure. It's a VHB. I'm guessing probably along the edit process of this video, I would have already put something on the screen identifying, whoops, wrong, correction. Of course, I want to make sure I really make sure this front is very clean, because of course, as I made a comment earlier, I don't want this thing getting loose later down the line, air getting up underneath it, and flying off going down the freeway. That would not be good. I'm getting shocked. I'm just realizing as I'm moving this, there's static electricity coming through this thing, and I'm getting zapped. That's funny. Okay.
Five minutes later.
Okay, friend, and that's that. As I promised, this was going to be just a quick install video. Now, actually, I would have played a little bit more show and tell on this video. I was expecting a cable. See, that panel on the top is meant to charge my Blackfire. Also, my twin batteries here when I have another solar panel that's specifically for the turtleback, but this panel right here specifically to power my Blackfire or whatever battery bank that I'm going to be using inside the tent. But the cable that I needed to plug into here didn't arrive yet. It's actually supposed to be arriving by 10 p.m. today from Amazon. So that's going to be plugged into the Blackfire, because this thing right here, this is their big 1500. Oh, I almost took a fall there. But this beast right here, this is my primary power when I'm off grid for portable power and so forth, when it's, or you can look at it as kind of a backup towards my turtleback. But when I'm up in my tent, this thing is what I use. I have 4 AC outlets right here. I have 3 USB A's. I have 3 USB C's, and of course you have a cigarette lighter here, which I never use. But it's great because the input allows me to use a 8mm or the I think this is an Anderson socket here. But either way, I don't have that. But what we are going to check out here is, I brought my voltmeter, so we're going to see whether or not I did everything right. Well, not much I can do wrong on this here. It's just mounting the panel up there, and so, but let's see what sort of voltage we're getting out of this. Okay, so as we can see here, you can see the panel is actually about half of it is in the sun. And we're pulling down, and we're getting 32, 32, 33. It didn't get 33 yet, but about 32 and a half volts coming into this thing here. So we have power. So now, the only thing we need is the proper wiring to go plugging into this or my trailer, and we are good to go. I'm going to jump in here just quick for a tinsy-wincy, yeah, it's actually a pretty big deal. When I shot this video, I thought I didn't have the proper cable to plug the XPLOR solar panel into my RedArc Manager 30 system. Well, I ended up finding the cable shortly after I shut off the cameras, and I plugged it into the trailer, and right away it was that my RedArc was giving me a overage error. And so, of course, I unplugged it. And then I contacted the folks over with Sunflare with XPLOR, and they referred me over to GTFO up in Long Beach, California. So these GTFO is the lead distributor for XPLOR solar panels in the United States. And I was able to watch a video, and turns out I overlooked actually a pretty important part here. My RedArc Manager has a max input of 32 volts, and of course the XPLOR system has a max output of 36 volts. So yeah, Houston, we have a little bit of a problem, but there is a solution to that. And I spoke with Kurt up at GTFO, and he shared with me a few solutions to fix this. So one of the next videos that you're going to see me doing with this solar panel and my Turtleback Expedition trailer is I'm going to be bringing it up to GTFO, and we're going to install a Victron controller that's going to step down the voltage so we can fall into the parameter, or what it needs to be, for the RedArc to play nice, or basically RedArc and the XPLOR solar panel to play nicely together. And so, in that being case, or that being said, rather, it's important, so it's, throwing myself underneath the bus here, it's important that when you look at solar panels like this, or any other solar panel, to verify certain requirements for your power management system, or if it's going into like a battery brick of some sort. Make sure you have a good understanding, or you're falling within the parameter of what these things need to be from a voltage standpoint, from watt standpoint, because there are limitations with these things. So just a little tip there. And friends, speaking of good to go, this video is... we are done. If you found some value with this video, smash that bell, crush that like, and hit that bell. That made it absolutely 0 sense, but you probably got the gist of it. Do all that YouTube stuff that really does help the channel out. And friends, that is it. I'm going to move on to, as I shared with you, my goal here today is I have 2 other videos I'm going to try to shoot here, and it's 3 o'clock, so I have about 2 hours before I have a hard line to meet up with my family for dinner reservations tonight. So anyways, I'm going to be jumping off here with this video, or closing off this video. So with that said, my friend, you guys get out there, stay healthy, and find your adventure.